Hey kids, how's it going today? We are excited to play with the 356 again. I love doing metalwork, I love creating stuff, and we have kind of a unique custom project to do on this car that I'm really excited about. Teresa had asked me, or I should say I had asked Teresa what she wanted to do for Valentine's Day because it's coming up. And she said, I don't want to do anything special, I just want to work on my car. So here we go, we're going to take one day out of this busy schedule and actually try to get this car to go from a Cabriolet, which would have had a metal windshield, colored windshield, rubbered in, roll-up windows, to turning this car into a Speedster, which they didn't make in 64, 65. So we're going to use parts right here that are meant for a 1959 356. I'm going to try to graft them into this car, and what we're going to have is that sort of slide-in post windshield with no provisions for much of a top, really. Should make a really cool car that they've never actually made, so again, onto the Outlaw 356. Buckle up, Buttercup, we're doing some metalwork today.
Yay.
I think Jeff has a little surprise for you.
Oh.
I'm not sure what it is. He didn't tell me.
Okay.
So let's go.
I have no idea.
So I can hear him bring a forklift over, so it requires a forklift.
A forklift?
Yeah.
Big one of cash?
I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. Did we win a lottery?
You have any guesses?
A forklift.
A forklift. You think he got you a forklift?
He got me a forklift.
We needed a forklift.
We do need a new forklift, actually. But I hope he didn't spend money on a forklift. We don't have enough money for a forklift right now. Forklift.
So let's make our way into here.
Parts? What do you buy? Oh, I see the name on it.
Happy birthday!
Alright. Okay, this is super, super exciting. You might not be able to see what I can see from here, but it says restoration design on this. So that means the good guys at Restoration Design have sent over my box of goodies for my Porsche. I don't know exactly what's in the box yet. So, do you know what's in this box?
I'd be betting on Porsche parts.
I know. Thanks, Sherlock.
Should be sheet
Metal. Oh, this one's heavy. I got the heavy one. A skateboard.
That's a little bit of inspiration.
That's awesome.
Speedster.
Oh, hey.
Oh, I get careful with this one. All right. So here it is. This means I'm going to be working next weekend. This is the windshield frame that eventually has to turn that Cabriolet car into a Speedster.
Front bumper bracket.
This is super important. My favorite part about this is they're actually made right here in Canada, these parts. And yes, I'm plugging these guys. I mean, yes, I did pay for these parts, so that's because I believe in the product and I think it's great. This is what I was specifically after. Again, I'm sure there's some Porsche guys that'll be mad at me, but this is a later car, and they didn't make Speedsters in this year of cars, 64, 65. At least I'm told they didn't make Speedster. So I'm going to convert it to a Speedster by using Speedster bits, because we didn't have a windshield anyways. So rather than try to fabricate a Cabriolet windshield from scratch, or even trying to find one because they're unobtainium, we're going to build it into a Speedster. This actually looks just like a lot of work for me.
It's going to be a lot of work for us.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I like that.
How about this cool piece? That would take a long while to make. The windshield drops right into this, drops right into this hole. So it's going to be interesting to figure out how these will fit into a car that they don't belong on. Ooh. Some more good looking pieces. So, this holds the windshield up, or the windshield frame, and at some point, it'll slide into there. I have no idea how that's going to work yet. Looks like I've got myself some work to do.
I think I got it all. I got it.
We're actually going to do this in real time because I have never done this project before, obviously, and I'm not sure how it's going to go. So you guys will learn with us. I don't know if it's ever been done before. I'm suspecting probably yes, somebody else has done it. There's no information out there on how. One of the things I was struggling with is the previous guy trying to figure out this cowl had started doing this kind of stuff. My thought is he was trying to relief cut the metal so it would actually take shape. Now we use English wheels, we use all sorts of shrinking, stretching tools to make these kinds of shapes. This was not the right way to do it. So this had me kind of worried about it, and you can see there's grinding marks here. You can see them on the other side, and that's how they were trying to get this shape into it. Total fail on my eye perception. I'm a little scared of cutting this right out of the car, but I think I have to. So like I say, you're just going to follow in with us. We're going to try to just go step by step and decipher how this works. We have no preconceived plan. Should be pretty fun. We're going to start with this. Throw away the garbage. Okay, first thing we're going to do is mark this hood before we take it off. Not that I think it's absolutely in the right spot, but this will give us a bit of a reference when we put it back together for test fitting. So we need to cut this off. We need to find out what they did here to attach it to the car, which is what really scares me. So our next step is going to be to get this piece off. We're going to trust that they didn't assemble it in a way that I'm happy with. Unfortunately, some of this car was put together really well, and some of it was
Mickey Mouse?
a little more amateur. Yeah, so this has been attached by welding, but not proper spot welds, I don't think. But you can see here what we're really trying to get away from. So we're going to do just a bit of a comparison shot now, and then when we get the other one welded in.
So this is the piece that's going in?
Yep.
Okay, well, there's no comparison, is there?
No. Okay, so we're going to set you up.
Okay. Can I ask a dumb question?
Sure.
The other piece that we're putting in doesn't have vents.
Correct.
So does that mean the Speedster doesn't have vents?
Correct. Speedster is an open air car, so it doesn't need air
vents.
coming in.
Okay.
whereas this is a closed air car.
Right.
Once you have it all closed up and the windows are closed, you have no air coming into the car, so that's the air intake.
Okay.
So no longer needed.
Gotcha.
Okay. Right here. So we're thinking those are welds. And what I'm going to try to do is grind through the one surface and see if I can expose the second one. Now if you're doing this, I would recommend a thicker blade than this one. This one just happened to be on the tool, but I would put a thicker blade on to just try to get in there. I think they were trying to fill some rust holes at the same time with this. Having a hard time figuring out which are actual welds and which aren't. What I'm hoping to do is just to get this started to see what's connected and what isn't. I may just cut this right off. We'll see in a second here. Okay, what you want to be careful here is to only cut the piece that you're trying to get rid of. You don't want to be cutting, this. There's a lip under here that I'm trying to keep, so that's why I'm going to cut this piece away. And then what I'm going to do is try to grind down this surface and try to separate it very carefully from the original piece. I need that to weld to, and I don't want to take it too far out of shape. Supposed to line up. That's why I'm trying to leave this in place.
Yeah.
Just as a rough support, I'm thinking. So now we got to get these two separated. So come here and you can see, but it's tough to figure out what they did. So I'm going to get a thicker blade than this, put it on here, and just kind of work my way all the way down it. Oh, looks like there's nothing under here. Wow. Okay. No, let's try. Maybe I'll try. Just kind of, I'm going to see where it's holding on and where it isn't. So you can see, I got a weld under it. This probably isn't that critical that you follow it that much, love.
I'm enjoying watching it, so I'm pretty sure our viewers will. It's kind of satisfying.
Not that satisfying. Satisfying because it's in better shape.
To get it off, it's kind of satisfying.
So. This is looking good. Looking good. Basically got the metal thin enough that it's gonna pry right off. There we go. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is clean off this surface. So we have something to weld to. It still seems strong enough. I'll patch up the little corners here that came apart. I'm gonna have a look at holding this down in place. We'll probably have to put the hood on one more time. I think I'm going to run a little piece of bar between those two, just to have something to support it. So clean up, a little bit of structure work, and then we'll put things back together. Okay.
I've always admired those who just do it, and they conquered their fears. They fall back down and they keep getting up, and they try to steer clear. I'm afraid, I'll admit. What if I'm stuck in my mind? I'm not great, neither rich, but will you stay here by my side? All the good times turn into memories, and the revelry goes on. Let's have a good time, night of the century. Our best days can't be done. All the good times turn into memories, and the revelry goes on. Let's have a good time, night of the century. Our best days can't be done. Best days can't be done.
Now, the other thing I gotta do, that I wanna do, is get a little support in here. I'm gonna try to get that shape. Yeah. So, how I'm gonna do that, I take this flat bar, put it in here, and if I shrink the one side of it, it'll start to curve it. Woo. It's a bit thick. I'm going to try to make it even, so what I do is I just go every 1.5 inches, about the same amount of pressure, and we'll see what kind of a smiley face we got. See how we're still short a little bit? So what we'll do is about the same here, but just a little further on. Inch and a half, 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 inch and a half. All right. That profile's pretty good, actually. Pretty darn good. Now I need to get this profile. I'm going to do that the old-fashioned way. Yeah, look at that. See how it fits this way?
Wow.
Probably needs just a little more right here. I think we got it. So this guy is going to do that gap where the vent was. we're gonna put this in.
Can I turn the blinking off, the welder, or do you going to be using it? Thank you.
Okay, so in theory, whatever theory that is going to go right there. So what we're going to do is Teresa's going to pass me my Sharpie. We're going to mark it, install it. Okay. You can follow me to the cutting machine.
Okay.
Gonna get my exercise today. So right now I'm just gonna tack this in because I can't be sure where everything's gonna go, right? So, quick little tack, one that can be undone. Okay, perfect. Now, we think that panel is going to fit. Truth is, they always make panels bigger on both sides. They always make sure that the panels have some space to grow depending on what you're trying to fix here. So I don't expect it to fit the first time, but we're going to bring it in, we're going to introduce it.
Do you want me to go grab it?
See what it looks like. Yeah. Okay, so this panel definitely has a position it kind of wants to fit. So I'll show you what my first plan of attack here is. See how it's long here? It's going to go right into the door. That's super. It's longer here than the fender, which means they overlap, which is awesome. But what we got to do now is start preparing to bring the two together. So I'm either going to have to trim this panel back or trim the fender. But what I'm going to do to get a good visual reference is Teresa's going to pass me the Sharpie. We're going to call this pretty rough, so I'm just going to put a little dotted line here so we can identify how big the panel really is. You can see they cut the fender short here at one point. I was suspicious of that. So I'm likely, and you can see the panel doesn't want to go down into place. That's because these surfaces are interfering with each other, right? Now, I'm going to want to get it down to about 1/2 inch where I can clamp things together, then reintroduce the hood so we can see how that all works. Okay, let's have a look. You see here, this whole area is kind of interference between the two. Okay, so we got two radiuses kind of fighting each other. Here we've got this whole area from here down, right? Which is good because we'll get rid of some of this patch. We'll get rid of that weld there. So what I'm likely to do is cut this one off the fender. And this one I'm going to try to trim in the middle of the two. So what I'm going to do is kind of pick this point here. For no particular reason, really. I'm just thinking if I go right in the middle of this radius, if I have to move them around, so actually maybe the middle of the radius is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this part of the fender for now. Actually, I could probably trim some of that too. But I am going to get rid of this here because these 4 bumps, the ins and the outs, are kind of holding the panel away. Here I don't have a lot of interference, so that's probably why it's wanting to sit down a little bit better. So we're not going to do much trimming, but just a little bit here to try to get it to go. You see the The goggles. Those ones. Yep. Okay, watch yourself. So what I'm hoping again, the panel's going to want to sit down just a little bit better so I can start to get clamps and just see how it's all going to fit. Okay, so here we're a little ways away. Here, we're in the ballpark here, we really are. I like this one enough that I almost want to just go ahead and do it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark this a little bit better, and I'm actually going to bring the two together. Just right here. I'm not going to cut the fender, any of the surfaces that are going to need to mate. Unfortunately, this poor panel got bent up in shipping, so I've done a little shrinking stretching here. So I'm just wanting to make sure. Yeah, you can see when I'm trying to do this, this is getting held up. What we might do, oh, we're really close. Okay. You can see where it's trying to, it's fighting a bit, eh? I'm going to get this one to sit right down, so that's going to be really quick. Watch your eyeballs. I'm going to do some trimming. Backwards. Okay, so you can see when this fits, see how nicely all of this fits? The profile's good. This is exceptional. Really good. I have kind of a look. The door closed, kind of the rough idea where the windshield's going to land. So, yeah, that's cool. See how this curve runs right into the door? Boy, am I excited about that. Let me get some clamps here. Teresa, there's clamps right there. There's a bit of a pull down here for sure. And we'll do another one. That's good, that's good. Have a look at this. This is it's a good start. See where we got those shapes? And this one, all of a sudden shaped like this. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Jack.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Good, good.
This is our Valentine's Day project.
Oh yeah. Couldn't have it ready for the 14th.
No,
Yeah.
this is just our date.
No, she gets one day out of me.
This is my Valentine's gift.
Yeah, early gift.
Hey. So what I'm seeing here is it, oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. It's going to help that side fit. I almost want to bring that up a bit. Okay. So what's happened here is this portion right here of the fender is a different thickness than this guy. So instead of cutting everything off, I'm still going to try to overlap them. I'm going to cut this down, and I'm going to cut that back just a little bit. See if I can bring both surfaces together. Oh. Watch yourself, it's coming at you. Yeah. That'll open that up. I think I'm going to get closer. Closer with my cut also, just to get a little more material out of there. What happens on these curved surfaces is the more material you got overlapping, if the curvatures aren't both the same, it just pushes it further away. So The closer you get to the actual cut, the better off you're going to be. So, which do I cut? I think I'm going to trim this guy. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. We are there. I'm going to take just a little bit off of this corner here.
Do you need him? Okay, be right back.
Wow, now we're cooking. So the reason I'm spending so much time fitting this panel is because I don't want to have to make up hood gaps later on for lack of trying here. So what we're trying to do, come on, is establish if the hood is close enough that we can move forward and actually start to think about how to weld this panel on. That's what's going on in my little pea brain here. There, you get up there. I'll pass it to you. Yeah, I think we're okay still.
Oh yeah, looks like it.
It looks like once it's closed, it would fit nice. It's that, remember that lip I was trying to take some off?
Yeah.
I think it's still fighting that for starters. So we'll get, I got it.
Okay.
We'll get rid of that for now.
This lip?
Yeah, that lip is too tall by a long shot.
Yeah.
So I will cut that more down to like this size.
Yeah. Or is it supposed to, see how this one curls down? Is this supposed to be long so that it curls down?
I think that one's long so that when the water comes down, it starts to make its way over. So right now, this needs to be pushed further back even. Okay. So I am looking to figure out what to do next. That gap is probably average at its best. I want to push this one back. This one's already tight, unfortunately, and the hood's loose there, which means the hood's got to come like this, which means it has to come back on this side just a touch. So it's looking like this fender was initially installed too far forward, so the radius is out of whack. So what I'm hoping to do is take this panel and mount it further back, like a whole bunch further back. Probably get the panel closer to where it belongs. I'm literally at a loss right now. I don't really want to turn this thing into complete Swiss cheese. There goes one little hole. One little hole. So what I'm hoping to do is forget about, remember how I was trying to make those radiuses line up really nice at first? Well, now I've decided, don't worry about that. Get the whole back of the hood lined up nice. Get the squareness of the hood back into shape. It's close. Going to drill one more right here. All right. I'm gonna have lots of spots for spot welds, that's for sure. Come on. There we go. All right. One more time.
That sits nice.
Gosh, still too close. Still too close. Just keep pushing it back and it's not enough. So if you come here, you can see what the problem is. So stand up on that and I'll show you. So we're a little fat here, really fat up front. So the hood's got to go back a little bit, but we're tight here, getting closer to a good gap here and very good in that corner. So the whole passenger side of the car is where I want it.
That makes sense though, what you said.
The elevations are quite good. It's got a nice crown across it. We're not touching anymore. So I guess we're getting somewhere. Just realized if I just push the hood this way a bit, that could be good.
It might just be these, maybe?
Yeah, pointing at them might magically be those.
Might magically be. like I know anything.
I'm not telling you don't, but it could be aftermarket hood hinges, aftermarket fenders, aftermarket nose. It's honestly just a lot of pieces that in the beginning weren't put together in a way that was thought out. I probably should never do this because it's actually not even a reference. But we're going to do it anyways. Pretty square. Okay, so somehow I think in the restoration of this, I think this firewall might be just too far forward because I'm out of adjustment is what I'm fighting. I'll show you here. Can't push this cowl back any further because it's hitting that hinge. So what I'm going to try to do is take that whole firewall, this firewall, and I'm going to put it back this way, 1/4 of an inch. See if that works. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just take a spot on the car here, and okay, so there's some tension. I've taken a measurement here. Perfect. What I want to do is probably move because I'm right out of adjustment, I'm going to move the firewall back 1/4 of an inch. It'll allow this panel to not hit anymore. Then I'll be able to gap this panel and just move the hood forward on the adjustment. So what we're going for. It's pretty sketchy. I don't think it's going to last. I don't think it's pulling it back either.
Oh, something pulled. Something moved.
Yeah, but not in a good way. Oh, I should have probably measured it there. Fuck's sakes. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's not good. Okay, we may be on to plan C here. I'm quite confident that is what I want to do. Just don't know how, obviously. Maybe. This feels like I could get a little more out of it. So again, what I'm trying to do is move the cowl panel back, but it's hitting the hinge. So it's keeping it from doing that. So, see, that's the gap we're after. That'll be good. Without buggering up the front gap on the hood. So we gotta push this back all by itself. I'm gonna do the other thing I wanted to do. I'm gonna try to persuade the hood to go side to side. You know what these things left?
Pardon?
You know those things? It's in those things?
Yeah.
That's almost there, isn't
That's
it?
actually really good.
Okay. That's, I think we can be happy with that, actually. Okay. Let's send it back just a touch. Okay. Now we need to move the cowl back. Can we move the cowl back? 2 millimeters in that millimeter world. About 1/8 of an inch in the 1/8 of an inch world. Okay.
Plan of attack.
I think take everything apart again. And then whack the firewall back with intentions of just slightly moving this side back. Yep. Hood off. That panel's getting hung up here. Mm-hmm. See how the radius is kind of, you see how it got kind of moved around.
Well,
so.
if you look at this radius, it's got a really nice,
Yeah, and this one's
and that
tight
one's
already.
tight, yeah.
And it could be a lot of things. So we're going to continue to coach build. Coach building 101.
Coach building?
And of course, every action has a reaction. So we'll move that back. The hinge will be all kittywampus.
This hinge, well, you'll have to hammer it
Yeah.
this way again, because you hammered it that way.
Yeah, I think something like that. Okay. Okay, so your longer of the two screws is going to go on the front. Well, if nothing else, we're getting good at that.
I was just gonna say, we've got this hood thing like really locked down.
Eighth time's the charm. You know what?
What?
I actually think we could take the cowl now and move it over this way, 1.5 millimeters, and fix almost all the problems. Yes.
You mean?
Yep, just move the cowl this way. It's a little bit tight here and it's a little bit loose there. So.
Taking the hood off again?
No, I think we will. Fuck, I think we're gonna have to pull the hood again.
That's what I just said. Are we?
I think so.
Now you said this corner's tight. What if you did the big hammer and pushed the firewall back on that side?
No, it's not tight
It's
here.
not that tight.
It's just
It's
tight,
tight that
on
way.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
the whole, this cowl is the right shape
Right?
for the hood. It just needs to go that way now. 3/16. 2.5, 3 millimeters. See? See how the gap's good here?
Yeah.
It's just too tight here, so it needs to go this way.
Right.
3/16. So let me have a look. Okay.
I just want you to know, I'm just going to say this out loud, is that if you were to go to a Ford dealership right now, that would be a factory Ford.
Well, they're not that bad.
They are. They are.
No. I don't believe that. But we're getting somewhere here. Like, we're really getting somewhere. This is exciting for me right now. I feel like I'm winning.
Good. Okay.
So we're going to cut. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, hood off. Damn it.
We're getting good at the hood.
Good. That's that. Well, I apologize for the long video. This thing really kicked my ass. I promise you the next one will be much shorter, and I am actually going to get the cowl welded into place. We were that close. It's late. It's time to get home. I will update you guys shortly, I promise. Thanks again for having so much enthusiasm in the little 356 project. Teresa and I really appreciate it. Click like, subscribe, ring the bells. Thanks, guys.